The U.S. Special Envoy to Yemen, LinderKing, held both Iran and the Houthi group accountable for the consequences of the militarization of the Red Sea. More on this is in the following report.
The U.S. administration is combining military strikes in Yemen with appeals to the Houthi militants through regional mediators to stop attacks against commercial shipping in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden.
The sooner we get de-escalation in the Red Sea, the sooner the international community can refocus on the vital issue of peace in Yemen, which is such a priority for this administration and cannot be a higher priority than for anybody but the Yemeni people themselves.
President Joe Biden 3 years ago tasked LinderKing to negotiate an end to the Yemen civil war. The U.S. mediation has been successful in getting Saudi Arabia and the UAE to end their involvement in the war, while Yemeni political actors backed by Riyadh and Abu Dhabi have maintained a ceasefire with the Houthi militants. Attacks against vessels in the Red Sea have prompted major shippers to divert cargo traffic away from the region and have lifted insurance and freight rates. The Houthis originally said they would not target those vessels that are linked to Israel, but have more recently begun targeting US and UK targets in response to US and UK-led airstrikes against targets in Yemen that began last month. The US messaging through regional meetings and other mediators includes pointing out to the Houthis that their actions would jeopardize their hard-won position in Yemen.
That what the Houthis are doing is hurting peace in Yemen, and it's going to hurt more and more average Yemenis who are already under a great deal of stress and strain because of the war, because of the damaged infrastructure, because of the lack of humanitarian supplies.
The UN-backed plan for rebuilding Yemen is on pause because there is no way that any country would support salary payments, for example, to people in Houthi-controlled areas when the Houthis are using every resource that they can to attack international shipping. The Saudi-backed Presidential Leadership Council and the UAE-backed Southern Transitional Council have refrained from taking any action against the Houthis after the U.S. strikes, but the longer this drags out, the more this arouses vandals or other forces inside Yemen to perhaps take matters into their own hands in opposition to the Houthis. The U.S. Special Envoy said that U.S. efforts to de-escalate the crisis in the Red Sea also depend on broader diplomacy to end the conflict in Gaza.